Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of the Buck Junkie Podcast. What's going on, guys?
Shoot, watching it rain.
Yeah, finna put my floaties on.
You ain't turkey hunt today.
No.
Probably for the next 3 days. We're fixing to get they said 6 inches possible of rain.
They'd probably be easy to find. They own high ground.
You think so?
Oh, that's definitely.
You ever kill one in the water?
No.
I saw some videos of them walking through some water.
I've seen them fly across water when it flooded like that, where they got caught in the roosted out in the bottom. But
Like there was one swimming. We talked about that a few weeks back, wasn't it?
Look like a duck.
Like a goose.
I ain't never thought about, I don't guess, a turkey swimming.
I'd never seen one swim.
I didn't know they could.
I know that year it flooded at Sardis so bad down in Abbeville. That was one of the best turkey seasons. Daddy and I, that's when I was still turkey hunting with Daddy, that I've ever seen. But it done just like you said, the whole lake bottom was flooded, so all the turkeys was up in the hills. And they were everywhere.
Do they shut turkey season down on the other side of the levee like they do deer season when water gets so high?
I mean, like how Hardin Point flooded several years ago. If it done it again, yeah, they would.
They would.
Yeah.
You could probably.
Just because it's not fair. I mean, take 10,000 acres and you got
100 of it that ain't on the water.
Yeah, you ain't got but 100 acres on dry ground. Yeah, it's pretty much like a shooting pool.
I know where to go.
It don't sound bad.
Get the boat.
What we got lined up this week?
Well, we got a cane pole fishing tournament coming Saturday.
I'm excited about that.
We still got some turkey hunting to do.
I'm going to go turkey hunting Friday morning for the first time this year in probably about 10 years.
Wow, you hadn't been this year at all?
I ain't been.
You got your gun? What'd you do to your gun?
I ended up going with a Jeb's choke, and I screwed up and ordered too tight a choke for TSS, so I'm shooting XRs, and that'll get me through this year, and then I'll jazz it up next year. But it shot pretty good. I shot it yesterday evening. I shot it at 30, 40, and 50, and it's fine.
XRs are, to me, I mean, you might have you got a little bit more advantage of TSS, but XR is not a bad shell at all.
Oh, that's a good shell.
Now, the ones you tried, they shot pretty good out of your gun, didn't it?
I just can't find sixes. I can only find fives and the 3.5s, and I ain't found sixes. I wish I had sixes, but the fives are going to do.
Why are you shooting 3.5s?
Because it don't hold fours.
They'll make a 4. I guess so. Them 3s do me all right. That's enough. That's all I want to shoot.
But, man, I told you yesterday, like, I shot that gun, and, you know, I've done the Jeb's choke, and I got it ported. And I know there's a ton of different turkey chokes out there that ported. The recoil was not that bad. Like, I mean.
You're lying.
You got to be lying.
But it wasn't like, I mean, it wasn't much more than a duck load out of the gun. Yeah. To me, it wasn't.
3.5 duck don't play neither now. I'm still shot.
But I shot it a couple times yesterday, and I mean,
You shoot the whole box?
No.
Just twice.
Did you shoot it out of the sled?
I did the last time because I was shooting at 50, and I was trying to be precise to make sure that my point of aim was where it was actually hitting.
I'm going to tell you what, at 50 yards, that dot's covering that turkey almost.
My eyes are terrible.
Yeah. You're just shooting up in there amongst him.
See, that's what Brad told me a while back about it. And I'm like, I mean, you dove hunt, you think about you're leading a bird, so you're not really, I guess dove be the same way. If you put it on it, it's covering it up.
But, yeah.
That day was out here, and I was like, man, it does at 30 yards, even just the fiber optic sight on any shotgun, it covers half a turkey up. So,
just got to know what half to aim at, I guess. I started putting it a little bit lower on him.
It's not easy shooting at birds real far off. I don't care for it, especially if somebody's inexperienced. It's
How far? How close do you want them to get to feel like it's an ethical shot?
Me?
Yeah.
40
yards.
40 to 45. Yeah.
I would say for me, because I can't see, I mean, my vision is toast. It sucks. Like 40 would be, I would feel comfortable at 40. The gun I know can do it at 60 or 70. I'm not worried about that. But like my vision, that's the reason I quit bow hunting. It's because I can't see. I need glasses.
You just go get some glasses.
I know.
You won't do it.
Why not?
I just ain't never thought about it.
You don't want nobody poking at your eyes?
No.
I got contacts. I still can't see.
Wear glasses. Yeah. If I don't wear my glasses, I can't see up close or far.
I can't stand to wear, when I'm shooting, I can't stand to have the glasses on. It's like it changes my point of aim. I don't know why, but when the contacts, it's totally fine.
Glasses do, because like I say, once I started wearing glasses, we was out shooting with my buddy Michael Lehman shooting skeets. I mean, I was shooting under every time I shot. And that's what I had in. Mark helped me with shim the stock up on it because I was shooting under it. And you wouldn't think glasses would change it, but it did.
Well, like this weekend, like you had trouble with your glasses and your mask. So
Yeah, I
you're
was-
turkey hunting. You're breathing in that mask, the fog.
Man, I don't know how you get away. I done tried different masks. I done tried anti-fog on your glasses. Same thing during deer season. If it's cold and I got my face mask on, it fogs them up.
That's why I can't wear glasses deer hunting either. I tried it. Same thing. If you put anything on that covers your face, it throws all that old hot steam coming off of you on them glasses. You fogged up.
Wait till the turkey walks up here and you
Yeah.
and you
You
start
breathing on
breathing
it.
to see what them glasses do.
My problem is I don't like giving them no time to get to me, Mikey. I can see that, Joker. I
noticed
feel
that.
like
Yeah, I did too.
well, I hadn't had any luck shooting a turkey in the open. Every time, like we got us three, we got another bird this weekend. We went out and I don't know, we were just really riding around just trying to see if there was anything on this property
Yeah,
here by the house because we
hadn't
hadn't
hunted over here.
we hadn't hunted over here. We hadn't seen any birds. Me and you went and listened a few times, and there just hadn't been too much going on. But we knew that we burnt that field, and man, it's done pop back out green and looks pretty as it can be. And with that clover running down through it, it looks like a turkey runway.
Yeah,
And so I figured there had to be some birds over there. And we started out on the backside, rode all the way around. Well, we stopped 2 or 3 times
Yeah,
and
probably.
yeah.
called just to see if we could locate something. And that last stop, we were over there by our dove field on where that fresh burn ground was. And Mikey hit that old call. And I wasn't thinking nothing was
No,
going to do anything.
we was
Was
supposed
it?
to get back in the side by side
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
go to another location.
And that dude, and I was like, whoa, he is down that hill. And I bet we didn't walk 75 yards, did we?
Yeah, if we walk.
We grabbed our stuff. We didn't even move the
We left
Can-Am.
side by side. Right.
It was up on
Yeah.
top of the hill, but that turkey was kind of down where it's old kudzu ditch and thick, and he was down in there. And so we set up. Jamie, you had a gun. You was kind of covering the 6.
It was you, me, Mikey. Well, then it sounded like he was, which is that ditch down there that
Yeah.
was going back, I guess be back west on that ditch. So I moved to the opposite side of Mikey,
So you could cover that way.
and
Yeah.
it didn't work out for me.
Well,
Well, I didn't. I mean,
you
we
didn't
were
get
kind of you and him were kind of pointing. We just kind of sat down. It really wasn't a good spot to sit.
No, it wasn't.
Scrub bushes, and there was only 1 or 2 trees, and on a kind of like a gullied hillside
Yep.
there. And I mean, I wasn't even sitting next to a tree. I was just sitting there in just a little divot in the ground.
And you got up by a bush.
I backed up next to some briars, and man, I'm sitting there.
I sat by a tree, and there wasn't a good way to look because I bet I couldn't see 50 yards. I don't even know if I could see 50 yards one direction. And another way, I might could have seen 65, 70 yards, but it was thick. And that dude, we were sitting, 15 minutes, and you called maybe, and he hit again.
Yeah.
And that time he had done closed the distance, and I figured he was coming up Jamie's way. I really did. I was looking. I positioned myself a little different just in
That's why I told
case.
Jamie
To cut Jamie off.
No, well, I mean, I had one clear shot down through there, but if the turkey would have walked up the tree line on the edge of the field, he'd have
None of
walked
us-
to Jamie's lap.
yeah.
Because he'd have been right on his right, and you probably couldn't have shot. I don't know. You might could have got a shot that way. But
Originally, where I was originally set up, no. If it would have come up through the hayfield or the grass, no, it would have just got by us. Neither one of
yeah,
us could
he'd
have.
have been smooth behind us, and
That's
we'd
what
have been.
scared me. That's why I told Jamie, if you can get over here, move over here, because
Yeah.
I was looking at that and I was like, man, I know he's probably going to come right up this freaking edge of this field right here.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, man, I done set in the wrong spot. Jamie's gonna get the drop on this one. But that dude, he started circling us kind of,
Yeah.
and I caught him out of my eye. Jamie had just moved, and I saw that head bebop through some limbs. And I was like, there he is. I don't know if y'all heard me or not.
Yeah, because I'm over there about to die. My back is hurting so bad, and
We hadn't even been sitting that long, Jamie.
no, and I had the gun in one hand. And Mikey said, "Don't move." I could hear you over there, and I'm sitting there holding the gun out. And man, the 20 gauge is light, but it felt like I held it for 10 minutes. I'm sitting there holding it, and about that time you shot.
Yeah, well, that joker was bebopping his head around back down in there, and I saw he had a beard, and I was like, dang, that's a good bird. And I was like, I thought he was going to go on around us. So I whispered something like, Mikey, hit a soft call, whatever it was. You chirped one time, and that joker looked, and he just eased down the open, and about that time, boom, Jack, I'd let him drop, and he didn't go nowhere. Like, he didn't take a step,
still-
but another bird was with him. And if I would learn patience, Jamie, we might could have doubled up that time.
Yeah, I got short.
Because
I got short.
there was, and I had did y'all know there was another bird with him? I
only seen one.
yeah, I only saw one, but when I
couldn't really
shot,
tell because I just seen the heads. Like, that's the bad thing about turkey hunting. Sometimes when you're in those thicks, you just got to look for that head just moving through the
Yep.
thicket, and you're not going to see the full bird. So when you see him, he's automatically got it. He knows where you're at, so you got to be careful not to move too much.
Well, that was me. I just happened to be sitting just right. My gun was. I never had to move. Like once I got set right, I just happened to have been sitting in the right direction because he was looking up that hill at us. Because he was kind of downhill a little bit. There was a little ditch there, a little sway, and it was a good shot. I mean, that bird. He's in the cooler now.
That's a pretty good sized dang turkey too. I don't know what it weighed.
I didn't weigh it. It had 1.5 inch spurs, and the beard was 10.5 inches long. I did measure that.
I was close. I said it'd be over 9.
So it was a good bird. That's number 2 for me. You got one more.
Was that more exciting than the first one, or was they about the same? Or
The first, you ain't gonna beat that first one. This one was like it was rushed. I felt like because I still want to see one put on a show.
Still hadn't got the full.
I did the day before. I saw something that I had never seen. We'll get into that here in a minute. But I had never had one come in and blow up and gobble and do all the stuff where you could see him. He's always coming through the thickest stuff that we got. And I guess that's just the nature of them. But
one thing about birds is that, when they come in, they're looking for you, but they're kind of surveying they know they're
what's trying to kill them.
Yeah, because they're everything's trying to get them. So
yeah,
when they come in, unless he's just on fire and he's gobbled the whole time up, like that one the other day, gobbled. He didn't answer for a while. Then he finally answered me again, and he kind of come that way. We kind of knew he was headed that way. By that time, he's coming to you looking, and a lot of times you'll just hear him spitting and drumming, and they won't gobble again.
Yeah.
You'll just hear him doing that, or just like we did, just see the heads coming through the thicket, and they're just looking for her, and they're going to come up here regardless.
It amazes me how them jerkers pinpoint you. Like they can be, that bird was probably, what do y'all think? Probably 200 yards at least from us.
First time, yeah.
The first time he sounded. We closed the distance just a little bit, and then he came to us, but he knew exactly where Mikey was calling from. I don't think he knew where you and I were, but he knew where Mikey was. And that's where he was looking, because you were kind of back behind me to my right a little bit. And that bird, he never looked at me. He was always looking, like when I saw his head looking, he was looking right up
Which
at
eye
you.
was he looking at me with?
That left one. That left one. When I shot him, he was looking straight. He was looking straight ahead. Like, he was straight ahead when I shot him. The other one just flew back down the hill. So we got one more we nosed down there.
Yeah.
We just ain't had a chance. I tried to go back and get him with Michael Sunday when they were down here, and he never, there was nothing talking. I mean, it was really a quiet weekend as far as gobbling.
Yeah.
But I think the birds, we saw birds, but they're all henned up now. And I don't know, what's the tactic on that, man? If you know your gobblers are like, they're out in fields, they got hens with them. The ones we rode up on, they got hens with them. None of them were talking. So do you call the hens and try to get the hens to come to you and maybe lead the gobblers, or what's this?
If you can, yes. I mean, I've had some success with that. If they got a lot of hens with them, or they got one hen with them, it's hard to say. Sometimes it's worked out. Sometimes it's a bust. But, I have called just purr and cluck and, soft yelps, not like, the hard cutting and the yelps and stuff like that. Cause a lot of times if you do that hen, she don't want him to go over there. So she's just going to go the other way and take him off somewhere. So she'll go away from you trying to keep, but if it's a lot of times, I've had more success with a group of hens being around a gobbler where I could kind of call to them, kind of like a lost hen where it's yelping.
Hey, I'm over here. Come get me.
Yeah. It's just kind of, you just keep on it. Like she's lost in trying to find, the rest of the flock to come over there with them. And sometimes they'll come looking for you. But if they got hens, man, that's a feat to try to get them broke off. Yeah, it's almost impossible.
Well,
away from a live hen.
Do you think it's late in the season for them to be henned up like that now and not out searching?
Is it what?
Or is it that's just this time right now?
You say, is it what?
Is it late in the season?
No.
Or because I figured they were henned up right at the beginning of turkey season. Now they ought to be kind of spread out. Them birds ought to have a clutch and be sitting on them.
I mean, you think about how many birds we've seen in deer season.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen as many as 90 hens in a flock over here. So if they hadn't been bred and those gobblers are, when we go in the mornings, them gobblers are spread out. sometimes half a mile or further apart, and so they're going to kind of push to those as they hear them throughout the day. They're going to keep moving in, trying to get to him to breed, because that's their main focus is breeding and, brooding and raising young, so they're going to try to get bred. So they're going to kind of move into those areas with them. And, if a gobbler ain't got nobody coming to him, he'll move out of an area and move somewhere else looking for him. So, it varies. I mean, sometimes sometimes early in the season they're breeding. It really depends on the weather. I mean, I've seen them out there strutting and gobbling and stuff like that in January before up here in Mississippi.
Warm.
I mean, they were trying to breed then.
Just when that weather kicks in and starts warming up.
It got warm and it struck them. And, I don't know if they actually bred, but, once you get later in the season, that's when you gobblers, they should have most of the hens bred because they're kind of like if you ever had chickens in the yard, you watch your rooster, he'll get 2 or 3 of them in a day's time.
Yeah. So how many hens do you think a turkey can breed in a day?
She probably means he wanted to.
As long as they're out there and ready. Well, so Friday, y'all went down to White.
Yeah.
And cooked dinner for the Hope Outdoors event, right?
So this was the Northwest Chapter Team Scooters. This was their first annual turkey hunt. And so they had, I think it was 13 hunters signed up and two got sick and backed out. So we only had 11 hunters, and I think they killed 5 turkeys. But anyway, so me and Mark went over there, and Mark done his thing with jambalaya Friday night. And
you got that recipe down, don't you?
That recipe there don't play.
And we had
what makes it so special, you think?
Man, I told you this the other day. I think the bigger pot of jambalaya you cook, the better it turns out because you're just able to render so much more fat. And I don't know, it's a solid recipe. It's one me and you kind of worked on, and then we cooked with stale cracker, and we picked up a few things with him, and it's kind of a mixture about 4 or 5 different recipes, but it's a solid recipe.
So go through, what's the quick jambalaya big pot recipe?
So I told Jamie this because it's always when you're cooking for a crowd, they always ask you how much of each product. And I do equal parts everything. So if I got a 10-gallon pot, I'm going to do 10 pounds of sausage, 10 pounds of chicken, 10 quarts of chicken broth, 10 pounds of rice, 10 pounds of vegetables every time.
It's 10, 10, 10.
To keep it whatever you want. So, and then that never changes. So if you're doing a 5 quart or 5 pound, if you start with 5 pounds of something, you do it all the way through.
Yeah.
But it's simple. I mean, you just take your favorite sausage, get it cut up, render the fat, almost burn your sausage.
So you're doing country pleasing and Kaneka?
Yeah, got to do country pleasing every time.
Yeah. We've always done straight country pleasing, and then we couldn't get it at one point, and we started getting, it was one time I bought like 5 pounds of country pleasing, 5 pounds of Kaneka. And that was like, it completely changed the recipe. But I think it's because the Kaneka has a little bit more fat in it, so fat's more flavor. But so we usually do equal parts country pleasing and Kaneka, and then get it browned down. Again, you want to burn that sausage almost. You want it to be where like, you don't let it go a little too far. But when you put it back in all that broth, it comes back to life. So I try to render as much fat as I possibly can. Get the sausage out, put your chicken in.
Don't drain the pot. Leave all that grease.
I
think that's what makes it so good.
Because your chicken's going to absorb most of it, and your chicken's going to cook some fat out too. So once the chicken gets brown a little bit, I throw the sausage back in there. I throw all the vegetables in there.
Brown out a little.
Yeah, let it go 10, 15 minutes. It don't take long. And by then, you got a pretty good amount of liquid in that pot, and you hadn't added any liquid.
Have you seasoned anything yet?
No, don't do anything. Because I don't want. So that's another thing is because you're cooking in such a big cast iron pot, you don't want a lot of seasoning at the front end because it will burn and it'll stick to the bottom of the pot. So I don't season till the very end. But then I add my rice before I add any liquid because I want that rice to kind of absorb that grease and everything that we've cooked out. And then I let it kind of cook for a minute with no chicken broth. And then I add my chicken broth. And then I do my usual, I learned this off a podcast me and Jamie listened to on the way to Louisiana one time, about how much liquid you put in your rice, and it's to the first joint in your finger. So no matter what size pot you're cooking in, you put your rice in there and you add your liquid, and you want the liquid to go to the first joint. So your tip of your finger will touch the rice, and your liquid will be at the first joint, and it'll be right every time.
You don't have to measure it. Just use the old finger trick.
And usually it's about a quart of broth to a pound of rice is pretty close ratio.
Which joint you calling the first one?
The first one.
Yeah, I need to look at that first crease.
Basically, an
I'm
inch.
looking at your finger. Yours is a lot longer than mine.
Yeah, you might burn your rice.
I got these little bitty bainas over here. What happened to your finger?
So
I might need to go to the second joint.
yeah,
on my
usually about
supply.
an inch of liquid above your rice and all your stuff. And
we
then-
added your hot sauce and a little bit of Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, once I get my liquid, I'll season the water a little bit and then bring it back to a simmer. Put the
Still
lid,
hadn't put seasons in it.
just a little, like we'll add a little bit of hot sauce and a little bit of Worcestershire, in the
Yeah.
liquid because it won't burn. And then put your lid on it, back your burner down as low as you can go. And that's another thing that I think separates a good jambalaya pot burner from one just you get at Lowe's is you got to be able to back that heat all the way down and it stay lit. You just want it warm.
Just a flame.
Yeah, just
No
barely
blue
a
flame, yeah.
And then I set a timer for 22 minutes. And then don't peek at it, don't touch it, don't do nothing.
Lid on.
Lid on. And then 22 minutes, you pull that lid off and all that broth's gone. You got all your vegetables that done floated up to the top. You fluff it, add a little bit of cream of mushroom, a little cream of chicken, whatever cream of sauce you want to use. But I think that keeps it from drying out.
How much of that? How much
I think we
cream
did.
of mushroom? Do you do cream of
10.
mushroom?
Yeah,
10 cream of mushrooms?
So you do a can per pound of
Yeah,
rice.
yeah.
And it just keeps it to where that jambalaya will stay moist. It'll kind of stick together and just has a good texture at that point.
Mhm.
And then I left at that point because we were actually cooking a contest that weekend. So as soon as I got it to where it was, fluffed and just sitting and resting, I rolled out. And, you can season it then, add your seasoning. We had some king crawl, a little bit of AP, and we ended up doing a whole bottle of Worcestershire of that pot. But it was good. I tasted one little sample and told Jamie it was let it sit for about 30, 45 minutes because that big old cast iron pot will hold some heat.
So how many people do you think that'd feed?
we probably had 70 people there, 60 to 70 people. Now, granted, a church donated spaghetti too, so they was kind of eating it too. But we had leftovers, so we warmed it back up again Saturday night.
Yeah, I figure
Wow.
if you've done a 10-gallon pot and done 10-pound ratios, you can do 100 people pretty easy. I mean, you got to think, you got 10 pounds of chicken, 10 pounds of sausage,
10 pounds of vegetables, 10 pounds of soup.
That's 40 pounds of stuff,
Yeah.
you know? So
That's right. That's a
Man.
lot.
you figure eat a half a pound of rice, you probably going to be hurting.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Them guys out there, man, they mowed through some jambalaya, king crawl, and hot sauce. Them out there were eating it like it's pouring.
Did y'all have any crackers to eat with it?
I know we did not. We had
Man, you gotta have,
that's-
some,
that's
have
hard
those saltines with the, man. You gotta have the stale cracker saltines.
well, the church that done the spaghetti, they also done garlic bread, and man,
Yeah.
that garlic bread with it pretty good combo too.
But it was.
And then I like jambalaya day of. Like, don't get me wrong, that's probably one of my favorite, especially if you're trying to feed a crowd.
Yeah.
That is an easy way to feed a crowd. But man, the next day you let it get cold and sticky in the refrigerator, and I'll take it, make it in a patty, and put it on a flat top and fry it.
Like a jambalaya cake.
You talking about good, man?
That's
That
good.
rice bit's crispy, man. It's good.
Man, you get a little etouffee or something to go over that. That would
It's
be
coming.
good.
It's coming. That's gonna have to be a recipe.
Jambalaya etouffee. We got to do that. So that was Friday night.
Yeah.
And then everybody was hunting Saturday morning. So we had Joey. That's who came out here to hunt with us.
Yeah, Joey's 18-year-old. I actually met him Friday night for the first time, and then they met us out here at your place.
So him and his stepdad showed up probably about 5:45 that morning. It was still getting dark. And me and Mikey jumped on one of the buggies and went over to try to locate a bird while y'all were going to follow us up, and we were going to try to.
Yeah, we didn't know exactly what side of the ditch because
The birds were gonna be
y'all
on.
heard them on both sides, so we was kind of hanging out, waiting to see what would be the best option to get him.
Well, they did not want to talk much that morning.
That's a bad thing. Friday morning I come down here. I had to do some stuff Friday morning down here, work on the farm anyway. So I come down here before daylight, found 4 birds. One of them was right there. I mean, right close to where we have a blind and everything, easy peasy. And we set me and you set another blind up that evening just to kind of get an in-between out on the edge of a field, where those birds were at. And man, they were firing off that morning just to everything.
Wanted to talk.
And then me and you came back that evening, what we heard, maybe one.
We were trying to roost
They were
one.
way off.
Yeah, they weren't close to us.
Well, they didn't say nothing that evening. I know they were close. They were in there. They were
Had to be.
somewhere in there, but they just didn't answer that evening, which is not a big deal. That happens sometimes, roosting birds. And then we come back that next morning. I was like, all right, all we got to do is pull up right here. I'll hoot a couple of times. He's going to fire off. And we
He's
just
gonna
figure
be
out
on.
which blind we need to get in, whichever one's closer to him. We got the blind set up, ready to go.
Solid game plan.
Yeah. Pull out there, owl hoot, nothing.
First off, the battery goes down on the Can-Am. We lost the Can-Am went down. So you owl hooted and nothing.
Owl hoot, nothing. Finally, I get one way off. I mean, he's way down. He's on the neighbor's property way down the end of the field.
Yeah.
He hits a few times, and and Joey got to hear that, and anyways, while you and Jamie were doing that, we kind of got Joey and his dad in the blind and got them set up, and got them in the chairs and got the blind, windows down where they could see and all that stuff. And the whole time y'all were out there mechanicking and pulling side by sides out of the field.
Finally, Jamie got in behind me and just pushed.
Yeah, we just pushed. We gave up.
Yeah, we parked it over in the woods, and I took the other one and just left y'all at it. I was like, man, this is screwed up. But,
I ain't gonna say it was a complete disaster. Probably could have went way worse, but it wasn't good.
yeah, it wasn't good. So y'all hunted, and it was cold, man. It was a cold morning.
Wind was blowing, about 20, 25 miles
Easy.
an hour. It was bending trees. You couldn't hear nothing.
I came back to the house, got a few things, and while y'all were over there, I said, man, I'm going to go ease around here and see if I can just maybe I'll see a bird, maybe there'll be one answering or something. We could bring him over there, have a backup plan. So I called a little bit here and there, and I had one hen kind of answer me back. She was talking, so when I heard her, I was like, I knew there were turkeys down there, so I backed back out and come back over there and just sit around and see if I could hear one for y'all, because I never really could hear you calling much because we were a good little ways away.
That the wind was so rough through them pines.
But then you stayed in the blind with Joey and his dad, and then Mikey kind of slipped out to go check the big field, didn't you?
I left to go check the big field and try to find another bird because the wind was blowing so hard. I was like, man, I can move 200 yards, and he may be gobbling 200 yards from the wind blowing so hard I can't hear him. So I got out and I left and went cut across the field and checked that one big field, make sure there wasn't nothing in there, and it wasn't. So then I went down about halfway down the field, called, went about another 150 yards, called, and by that time I'd made it all the way back to the ditch crossing, was calling. That's when you text me and asked me, was I down there calling? You could hear me.
Yeah, then I heard you. So we jumped back on the buggy, went across that ditch, and was just going to see if we told Jamie we're going to see if we can locate one over here. Maybe there's something over here by this other field. We had another setup with another blind, and we went over there. I don't know. We stopped at the top. We rode up that little side road, stopped at the top, and you just jumped out and hit a call. And we was like, man, nothing answered. Let's get back in. No sooner than you step back to the Can-Am, here come three Jakes out in the middle of the daggum road, looking right at us. I mean, they come right to you, and they weren't saying a word. So they ran off. Well, we backed out of there and went back and picked up Jamie, got the other Can-Am going. We had to jump it off. By that time, it was 9:30?
Yeah, probably pretty close to 10. Yeah.
And they were, I think Joey was about popsicle then, wasn't he?
Cold. He didn't have no clothes on.
So we talked them into going and getting some breakfast. Well, they said they wanted to go back to their house because I don't think he lived too far away.
Yeah, they're not 15 minutes.
They were going to go take a power nap, get something to eat, take a power nap, and come back around lunch.
Yeah.
So we went in, Mikey threw together old gravy, and I made some biscuits and cooked some hog jowl, and
man, it was.
We watched the rest of that Mossy Oak documentary. Man, that's a good one. If y'all ain't seen that,
that is a good documentary. If you hadn't seen it,
it's on YouTube. Go to Mossy Oak on YouTube, and it's probably the first thing on their Mossy Oak channel on YouTube. But it is a great documentary about Mr. Fox and about how turkey hunting kind of got going. Really, I never really understood how instrumental the state of Alabama was, and forget the name of that plantation or hunting club. It was a hunting club where they shut down turkey hunting. And they relocated some turkeys to help populate turkeys all across the United States. But it's super interesting if y'all hadn't seen it yet.
Yes, it's about it's about a lot of different things. It ain't just about Mossy Oak itself. It's just about the whole management part and the stewards of that turkey, NWTF, and how all that stuff got started and what they had to go through, the things they had to do to, relocate turkeys, why they done it, and, I think I forget what the count was on the state, like how many states had turkeys before they started doing that. And it was that generation of men right there, that Mr. Fox's age that done that.
Yep.
And anyways, they were, shooting these little cannons with these nets. I know it's summertime because I can see all that ragweed and stuff out there blooming. Yeah. So I know they're sitting out there and the ticks and the chiggers and the snakes
trying to net some
trying to
turkeys.
net these turkeys, it's probably very uncomfortable, especially in the South. Back then they didn't have bug spray and all that. So, they're out there trying to relocate. Anyways, I'm kind of getting long-winded on that. But it's a good documentary about that stuff, and a lot of the Mossy Oak guys that were, been around turkey hunting all their lives and stuff. And they talk about how it all happened, about the granddaddy and, different people that helped, get all that stuff started and get turkey hunting to what it is today.
We saw old Vandy on there.
Yeah.
He was sitting at the
Vandy,
table.
I was like, man, how did Jason Hart get a speaking part in this and you didn't get nothing?
What'd he say?
He said Jason Hart was a better turkey hunter than he was.
That's what he said. But so after lunch,
We started getting sleepy.
we started getting sleepy. But they text you.
Yeah,
I guess-
yeah. They was going to come back go that afternoon. His mom brought him back that afternoon, and I'm not a diehard turkey hunter. I don't know all the ins and outs. But that was a heck of. I mean, even though we didn't seal the deal, that was a heck of a day.
I was so excited. I mean, because we went back out there. Our plan was we didn't really locate any birds that morning.
Oh,
So we were just going to go back out there and try to maybe call and get one to talk, or to put him in a blind and just start calling, see what happened. Because we had another setup around the corner. That's where you killed a turkey over in that area last year. I'd killed one not far from there, the first bird I ever shot. So we knew there were birds back there. When we start,
nothing was responding to anything that
I said,
we did.
yeah.
So we were just making our way to that blind on the north side of the property. And man, we topped the hill.
We stopped
Dang.
and called,
Yeah.
about maybe 100 yards from
Before
where we
that, yeah.
yeah.
And
Nothing.
nothing. It was just dead silence. So we just going to go ahead and bebop and put him up there in the blind and be set up. Man, we topped that hill. And I still don't know how it happened.
I don't either.
As spooky as the turkey is, we rode up with them probably 70, 75
Yeah.
yards on the Can-Am, stopped. I mean, I literally just froze, cut the key off, and this 4 gobblers swole up and rode with 4 hens, not paying a bit of attention to us. We're out in the wide open, and
I mean, them chokers was blown up, boy. They moving around.
I think that's why we got away with it. They were so focused on one another because those 4 birds were just circling one another.
Yeah.
They doing like little figure eights.
Yeah.
Just
And they were just so focused on one another. And, thank God the hens were, not really paying attention to us or looking at them or just standing in the edge of the woods where they couldn't really see us. Is the only way we pulled up there and got away with that.
so there's 5 of us on a side by side. Jamie, Joey, and his mama are in the front. Me and Mikey are in the back, and we're not the quiet. That thing's not that quiet riding up through there.
yeah, evidently that's pretty
Well,
good.
we stopped 75 yards from those birds, and it felt like an hour. We were in a deadgum standoff with
Yeah.
them. But how long do y'all think we were actually sitting there?
Oh, I thought
I
we
made
were-
a video. I mean, I got it on film. We're going to
had
release a
30
little
minutes
part
or
of
so.
it.
At
I was
least.
thinking say at least 20 to 30 minutes we were sitting there.
We were froze. Like, nobody move, nobody say anything. Let's be super quiet. How are we going to get out of here? First, because I'm thinking first, how are we going to get this kid to get up here and get one of them birds? Because that was like, I mean, ducks in a barrel right there. I mean, I don't know, a real turkey hunter probably would have killed 1 or 2 of them if they wanted to.
He might could have
But-
slipped up in the edge of the, woods or something like that and just barely eased up there and tried to make a call or
Yeah.
pop one easing by him. But I don't know, when you bust them like that, they're right there. So
The odds are not in your favor.
Well, what happened was hens kept funneling in. They were coming from our left. They would feed across the little trail. We were sitting there, face off with these
15
gobblers.
turkeys went across there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was how many? 13? 13 or 14.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, that we counted sitting there, just all working in front of us. And I just said a hen's fixing to bust us. A hen's fixing to bust us. None of them ever paid any attention. We got so lucky. So Mikey eased out of the side by side. We thought like they had stepped off to the side. We was like, here's our chance. If we can get out, maybe back up just a little bit, we could set up and maybe try to call. Well, as soon as you stepped out, here come the 2 gobblers right back out in the trail.
Well,
And you were froze there.
that we were going to let him shoot from the cannon. We were going to be legal. It was dead. We were going to pull
Yeah.
the key out of the ignition. So now it's not, it's not a motorized vehicle once the key's out of the ignition. So anyway, so I get out, the birds get off. So I step out. As soon as I step out, birds walk back in the road.
And you're froze.
So I'm froze, standing there. Anyway,
That went on for 15 minutes.
yeah. So
You're not
finally I
moving.
got, and you know how long a bed on a can, how short a bed on a
Yeah.
Can-Am is. It took me 10 minutes to get from the back seat to the back of the bed
Yeah.
where I was hid enough to where I could squat down behind it. And I got his gun out. Got his gun out of the
Sleeve.
case, out of the
Yeah.
sleeve. Got my face mask on. Reached up there, got my turkey calls and stuff just in case. And then I reach around the side and hand you the gun to give to him. And
I'm in the back seat. There ain't nothing I can do.
so you hand the gun up to Jamie, and I think Jamie loads it and sticks it out the front windshield.
I mean,
It was just too
I still got
far.
my foot on the brakes. I'm scared
Yeah.
to let my foot off. It's going to squeak or move. So I'm still, I'm dead silent.
By that time, after another 15 minutes, we was like, we got to back out of here. We got to get out of here. So I was like, all right, Jamie, knock it in neutral. We're going to put our legs outside. Me and you going to push. Mikey's in the back. He's going to pull a little bit. And we're going to try to get this buggy back around the corner so we can just at least not alert them. So here we go. We're easing. And it didn't squeak too bad. So here we are. Jamie's got his foot out of the side by side. I got mine out. Mikey's in the back. Kid and his mama's up front. And we're trying to ease that thing back.
Y'all
Ease
pushing,
it back.
I'm pulling on the tailgate.
We made it, I don't know, probably 20, 30 yards before a little curve.
Yeah.
And then once we got around that curve, we couldn't see the birds. They were still out there. So I jumped out and I was like, all right, what are we going to do, Mikey? We're going to try to get on these birds, or we're going to try to. Our other option was if we could get back far enough down the trail, we could turn around and we could take Joey all the way back around, because we knew we had a blind, 150 yards from those birds?
Yeah.
That was pretty well covered that we could get to, and then maybe they would work down the trail to within gun range. So we jumped out, and me and Mikey grabbed the back of the Can-Am. Jamie, you were still steering, and we drug that thing another 50 yards probably.
Yeah.
At least, almost back to the turnaround. And then
Every time we're doing this, I'm thinking what this kid and this woman
Are thinking.
about us. We have gotten paired up with the daggum Three Stooges here.
Three Stooges of turkey hunting. Hey, we showed him some turkeys, by God. He saw 4 of them junkers blowed up. I had never seen that. That's what I was like, man, can y'all believe this? This is crazy.
We pulled
And they didn't run. They were just hanging out.
We pulled it off. We got all the way back around. Mikey eased up there and motioned for me and Joey and his mom. We come on up there, got Joey set up in the blind. Mikey walked around the corner, like, they're still here. I mean,
They were still in the road
they
up there.
probably,
Still in the
100
road.
yards from us at that point,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, because I used it. There was a bend in the road there, and that's kind of why I put that blind there. And we got a video out about why I put that blind where it's at. But I eased around that bend and stayed tight to the woods. And when I got to that last biggest pine tree sticking out in the edge of that curve, I stayed behind it and just kind of leaned my head over a little bit and peeked down the road. And they were still just circling one another out there. I was like, all right, we're good to go.
They're fixing to work. So y'all set up. I stayed down the hill with the Can-Am. I was like, there ain't no use in 5 of us being up there on these birds. I done seen them. So did you get in the blind this time?
Yeah, I got all three. Us three was in the blind. Mikey was right outside of it calling.
Was Joey excited, or was he?
I think we all was. I think we finna seal the deal. I mean, we had it. I mean, it was everything led up this point. It had to play out, and that's what I was thinking it was. And Mikey had him answer his back. We're, oh yeah, he's coming. We're fixing to do it.
So they called back to you. He answered you.
Once,
Yeah, one time.
Yeah.
But they didn't come.
They
No,
didn't
that was
come.
it. We sat there and sweated for an hour.
So yeah, because them biting gnats and started getting me down there.
Yeah.
But I thought about, I was like, well, if it had been one of y'all shooting, we might could have done it. Somebody looped or left somebody over there on the other side of them, and then maybe started easing through there. Maybe they would have heard some sticks snapping and
Went to
went the opposite direction to you. I don't know. I don't know what tactic we could have used on that.
The bad thing is once you spook them, they're spooked.
Yeah.
It's over.
They ain't gonna stay blowed up like that. Well, turkey hunting is different every single time. There's no scenario where you can think, oh, I know what this bird's fixing to do. Because we had no clue those birds would be right out in the middle of the trail. I mean, in the video, you could see our deer stand behind them. Like they're just out there hanging out in a trail that's what?
It ain't
15, 16 yards wide?
ain't wide at all.
Not yards, feet.
Yeah, it's not much more than 20 foot wide. 'Cause
Yeah.
when I take that 15-foot bush hog through there, you got a couple feet on each side of that bush hog. Get a
That's
watch
it.
to do it,
Yeah.
and you'll hang it up.
That's as wide as that trail was. But the only thing I could think of was it was windy that day. So them turkeys weren't out in the big fields. They were up, and there was some sun shining down through the canopy there because we kind of kept those limbs trimmed on that trail, trying to get some clover to go. We've got some clover, we've got some wheat left, and it's just there's something for them to scratch around there and eat.
So we ended up, I guess, about an hour or two after that.
We
back.
sat there a good while.
Yeah. So he's like, we got to do another option. So we come back over here to this property, and man, kind of exact same thing happened again, and they was not answering anything you done.
We had one answer back down in there where I shot that bird. It was before. It's probably one of those birds. And no, we didn't. We set up on top of the hill, and one ran out again.
Yeah.
Like Mikey called, and here come a jerker busting out of the neighbor's pasture.
Scenarios it was with them Jakes that morning. We pulled up on that trail. I got out of the 4-wheeler, tried to get one to strike, called 2 or 3 times.
Didn't say
walked
nothing.
back to the thing, and the gobbler ran out 30 yards, 25, 30 yards in front of the daggum 4-wheeler.
So as soon as he saw us, he flew back up a hill, and then we figured he went down on the backside and might have got back on the ground because he probably didn't fly that far. So we hightailed it around. So Jamie, you were driving again. You made a full loop back around on the backside, and we say, all right, if that bird did fly over that hill, he had to be in this direction. Mikey eased out. Instead of calling, you said, let me just go take a look.
Yeah.
And you made it up through the little gap where you could see down the tree line a little bit.
I don't think that was the same bird.
You know, because you think it was the hen.
Well, yeah, I don't figure he flew off and, flew 200-300 yards and hit the ground and went strutting like that. That one was in full strut when I walked. I peeked around the corner again, and there he was just standing in the middle of the field strutting. And I couldn't see a hen with him, but I'm like, he's not out there just strutting by himself. There's got to be a hen close or somewhere close to him. And so I come back to the 4-wheeler and motion to Jamie and him, come on, let's go. He's out there.
You made no blowed up sign. That's what he said. Come on. Come on. Yeah, you put the arms. He said, come on. I said, oh, Mike got one.
But anyways, we get up there and we're trying to figure out where to set up because it's on a fence line. It's nothing but little small gum trees and a lot of thorn trees and crap. And there's nothing to really conceal or sit by. And anyway, so I told Jamie, I was like, let me ease up here and see where he's at. We're just gonna have to set up against the fence. I mean, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
When he comes around, he's gonna be right in our face if he does. So I eased around this little knoll that had the little thicket that was on top of this little knoll there, and I looked around and he was going away from us. And he didn't walk across the field, was in the edge of the tree line walking away from us. Well, at that time, he done kind of got behind some thick stuff and I couldn't see him. So me and Jamie took him across the field, moved across that little narrow part of the field. And we're talking about like a little field road. So we jumped across that road real fast and got on a big tree we could set up on where we could see the field. And I was just hoping to get a show for him or something,
Yeah.
Maybe I can call it, maybe I can't. I don't know. We'll just see. But at least, for the boy to be able to see him sitting in a, hunting situation, not sitting on a motorized vehicle. That he might.
This is not how you hunt turkey.
Yeah.
You're not going to shoot them sitting off a golf cart or whatever.
But man, I couldn't get that bird to answer. He kept going. He stayed down that ditch, so I know that hen let him off when I started calling. So
you don't think he saw you or anything?
No, I ain't never seen us.
No,
That's turkey hunting though.
Yep.
But I still think they had a good time. I mean, he didn't get the fire shot, but
we probably, out of everybody I talked to back that night, we probably seen more turkeys than anybody else did. And it was, like I say, everybody, I mean, you're not going to kill a turkey or deer or catch a fish every time you go. I mean, that kind of defeats the purpose. But I mean, me and Mikey and you both, we all just, man, we wanted to put him on the turkey. That would have made the day.
It would have been a perfect day if he would have got to shoot at a bird.
Yeah.
It would have been the perfect day because you got to see so many turkeys and got to see something that probably a lot of people never seen.
But my best turkey hunts, I hadn't killed a bird.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed I was pumped. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Like I say, I'm this Hope Outdoor stuff and Archibald Food Challenge stuff, man, I get pumped up so much about it. I like it more than
actually shooting one yourself.
And then, so Brad and Jerry carried their hunter out. Well, this is a young man that's, I think Brad said he's like maybe 20, 21. He's an ATV accident. He's 100% blind. And they set him up with a gun with the camera on it. And Brad and him happened to have a double-beard gobbler on camera a couple days before. And he's like, that's what, and Brad was telling himself, that's what I want this this kid to get.
Kill this double beard.
And they sealed the deal on it. Brad said, man, he got way more out of that than any turkey, any deer, anything he's ever done on his own. He got a bigger rush out of watching that young man.
So how does that work? Like, they got the gun in a tripod or something?
Yeah, so we actually, Mark called and got us in touch, got us a couple of them bog chairs for him.
Yeah.
Man, anybody that, I'm telling you, it's as many of these hunts I've been on in bog chairs are probably the most useful chair out there.
Oh, shoot. I love them for me. I mean, it's one of the most comfortable, easy chairs to hunt out of.
They're super comfortable. The legs are adjustable pretty much any offset in the ground you got. And then it's got it's extra, but it comes with a gun attachment that, I mean, you clamp the gun and it stays there. If you get out of the chair and you got the gun
Gotta
out,
watch that arm.
we'll get a little tipsy. I think
Just because it's off centered?
Well,
Yeah.
that's a heavy duty arm on there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you get up, you got to make sure you place that
around.
arm where it don't flip the whole chair up.
Yeah.
so.
Don't leave your gun in it and get up.
No.
So you could go to it's a company called Be Adaptive. They sell tons of shooting accessories for disabled hunters or physically challenged hunters or what wheelchairs, anything you need for hunting. They're kind of pricey. Anyway, we found out a company on Amazon that makes something similar. It's pretty much like about the size of the iPhone screen, and it goes on your scope. And
You have to line it up, or how does that work?
so it's me and Mark actually helped Brad set it up. It's just like a tube that goes over the end of the scope, and it's got a mount that your camera goes on top, and you see crosshairs through it, and you see the same thing you're doing just looking through the scope. So that way, somebody does have a impairment with vision, you can sit behind them, beside them, or you actually can set that camera way over there where you're at, and just somebody helps them get the gun, get it lined up.
So they're seeing a crosshair. It's not just a bead of the shotgun.
Yeah,
Or you have it on like a holographic sight or something, or a red dot.
No, it's you get a regular. So this was just a regular. What do you think, Mark? Probably $40, $50, just kind of cheap scope they had in it.
Yeah,
Wasn't that
no, it
special?
was
Just a red dot scope.
No, it's just a regular crosshair scope.
Oh,
knowing Brad, it was probably a 1999 scope.
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, it was just I mean, it wasn't bad though. Once we got it put on there, it was fairly clear. And I mean, you got to think you're not shooting 30, 40 yards.
Yeah.
So anything with, a crosshairs, you can use it deer hunting. You can actually do night vision on some of them. We can see at night, like if you're carrying a kid hog hunting or somebody.
So when they got it in the chair and then they helped them get it lined up, they said, all right, he's in the,
Yeah.
pull the trigger.
The hunter itself pull the trigger,
Wow.
and then
That's amazing. You can kill it. You can shoot a turkey like that.
and then it
Hard
was
as they are to kill.
Yeah. And there's some hunters that are, physical limitations and paralyzed or something like that. They have to use a suck tube and attach it to the device, and you just you help them get it lined up, or they get the remote control and line it up, and they suck on that tube, and it fires the trigger. But no, it's I had five successful hunts turkey hunting.
That's pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive for some of the disabilities and challenge you got to go to get hunter in there. But
I don't know if the rest of them going to have stories like our hunter.
Oh, yeah. We definitely had a good story on ours.
I don't know. Rob and Keith had a pretty good story. I think they started out by ripping the windshield off a golf cart, unloading off the trailer, to getting the golf cart stuck, to forgetting the chair.
Sounds like they were on one of our type hunts.
Yeah.
Did they get a bird?
They did not. I think Keith said it was Saturday morning when they was in the blind. He said, what was it? He'd ate something. Anyway, the jambalaya and something in his stomach was fighting. He said, I'm losing a battle. We got
Spaghetti
to
and jambalaya was fighting.
I'm losing a battle. We got to go.
It wasn't Mark's jambalaya.
It might have been.
It
Who
might-
knows? It's pretty hardy. But I think Friday morning, I'm going to bust the e-bike out and try to slip in on one.
You'll take the eagle.
We're gonna see.
Golden eagle.
Yeah, the golden eagle.
Golden eagle's landed.
If me and Jamie go together, we just got to film that because it's going to be two rookies that don't have a clue what they're doing.
We gonna sound like
No, Jamie's going to go with me, man. It's a good luck charm.
if me and Mark call, this gonna be the Marlboro hen that's been walking up the street her whole
I'm going
life.
to sound like a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
lizard over there.
Yeah, no, we're doing Three Stooges style. It's me, Mikey, Jay. I'll be Curly.
Y'all got
I don't know who's going to be Mo or Larry. But
y'all got to go wait late in the season if y'all going to sound like the old Marlboro girl. When there ain't no other selections left in the bar.
That's the one you got to go
You
with.
gotta go with that.
On closing time when
Close.
you want to do a closing time call. No, we're gonna have a big time this weekend because we're gonna try the turkey hunt Friday, and then Saturday we're gonna do brim fishing, We've got
It's not just
cane poles only.
it's not just brim fishing. It's going to lead into more than that.
Oh, cane poles only.
What's the name of it?
What do you call it? Brim Master.
The Brimathon.
Brimathon.
The
24.
Brimathon.
Cane
Yeah.
Master.
Cane it's sponsored by the Cane Masters. Yeah, but it's the first annual Brimathon.
See, I'd have messed up and got 3 poles. Amazon sent me 3 of them. 3
How'd
poles.
that work out? So you ordered one giant pole.
One 16-foot cane pole off Amazon, the biggest one I could find. And they sent me 3 of them and 2 back scratchers for some reason.
Back scratchers. You sure they're not brim scalers?
It might be. But
You can reach out there and scale
I'm going to
them.
rig
Yeah.
one up for bobber, cricket. I'm going to rig one up for tight line. I'm going to put me a little egg weight on it and a catfish hook. We finna.
There you go.
You can't put if you technically,
They kept poling the mud.
can we put a reel on a cane pole?
No.
No mechanics.
See,
No
I'm
mechanics.
What'd you say? The line's got to be the length of the pole.
Line can only be the length of the pole. You got to
We have some
use.
short poles. We're just going to stick on the bank. I'm going to put a little bail on them.
I'm glad you did that because I was going to put at least 100 feet of line on mine and fly fish with it.
Oh man, get it
way
working.
out there.
Get it
You
working.
said that, I was like, "Daggone."
Well, Marks, he can run him a cane pole trot line from
Yeah.
bank to bank.
Oh,
This.
you're one fishing device at a time. You got to be fair.
Yeah, you can't run multiple cane
We're not
poles.
trolling off the bank.
You can bring more poles, but you're going to have one in the water at a time. How about that,
At
Rod?
a time.
One in the water at a time.
I'm going to have enough crickets. I'm going to be chumming the water over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like that
Speaking of crickets,
Yeah, that's a
what did the commissioner do now?
wildlife commissioner.
This was the Mississippi Department of Wildlife
Let
Fishing
me pull
Park.
it up so I can get it
The
right.
commissioner
like
of the thing got a citation for supposedly he didn't know it, but it was hunted over baited turkey land, and they had baited it with live crickets.
How many crickets?
I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Like,
How many crickets considered bait?
so up there at J&J's, how many crickets you think they got in that box? Several thousand?
Uh,
I mean, it's a pretty genius idea. Like,
Well, I mean, so I'm kind of on the thing now. Is that live bait? Is that bait? Just releasing some insects? I mean, what if I put out stuff
So
just
you
to
can
draw
prove it.
insects over there? I mean,
I don't say you could prove unless you caught me dumping crickets out.
well, one, I guess those crickets aren't naturally Mississippi crickets,
I
right?
never even thought of
there's
that.
cricket farms in Mississippi. They raise.
Yeah, but they're raised crickets. They're not them old black ones.
It's a
That,
black and brown cricket.
yeah, it's a brown cricket with a little black stripe. But like all the crickets I see out here is jet black. You ever see the brown ones with the black stripe in the wild?
I've seen a brown cricket before.
Yeah. Most ones I see are black. But I never seen 7,000 of them at one time unless I was at the bait shop.
I would love for the game warden to come up on me after I done throwed out crickets and try to get me a baited. I mean, he can ride it if he wants to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna argue with him.
Hey, do they have a
go right.
screen they throw down and you only get so many crickets
Like
per,
Dove field?
like, per
The
square?
square foot.
Yeah, square. How many crickets can be a square foot? Nope, it's baited. You done drew these crickets in.
That
So-
would be my thing.
But I'm gonna start catching June. Man, I turned my lights on the other night at the house, porch lights. I come out if there's 100 June bugs just on the ground. So if I can start catching them June bugs, we can bring them over here, let them go for the turkeys. Yeah, how do you keep them around? You think we had to tether them or something? We
Yeah,
tie little strings
tie a
out.
little 2-pound fishing line on.
To keep them in. Well, so what about this? Is it if turkeys like crickets? What if you just go take crickets with you while you're hunting just to get them to chirp? It's a cricket call, man.
Take a cricket bucket
Yeah.
and just set
Yeah, just set it on the ground. Yeah, there you go. Y'all come get 'em.
So the landowner said he did not know it was illegal to place bugs on his hunting land.
I wouldn't either. I mean, but who wants to introduce? I'll tell you what, we get to catch ladybugs in the winter, keep them jokers alive, and then let them
What come
go.
out of stand.
what if you caught those beetles? What's the ladybug that look like? Or
Yeah, the Japanese beetles or whatever they are. Yeah,
you know, because this time of the year you find a lot of them dead and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You scoop them up and
have
scout.
a bucket full of them. I don't know, but so I don't know how they proved it. One, but they gave him a citation. I don't know what that is. It just a hunting over bait citation? Looks like Mark.
So apparently, let's see.
We need to get somebody on here who knows how to explain the cricket rule to us.
So if I'm reading this right, they're trying to now cite the landowner and the caretaker of the land too.
how do they have proof they let them go? Do they got some big cricket box? It's just live crickets and it's empty or
They
something?
done pulled the cameras from JR's bait shop.
Somebody done told on him, you bought these crickets. He might have bought a daggum truckload.
Not
So
the
truckload of crickets.
They bought a bunch of them.
What if we start a cricket farm?
Yeah.
I mean, some of them just get out.
They just happen to get out where
Yeah.
my turkey spot's at.
Yeah. We can put some cricket boxes out there.
I'm gonna have
Go
to talk,
check on
Try
them.
to hold them in with chicken wire.
Yeah, we need to call game warden.
I'm going to call my buddy Keith in Texarkana and get him.
Does he know about cricket?
No, but he'll come up with the idea on how to make it work.
How to make it legal?
Yeah, I mean, we got deer positioning.
I'm thinking one of Jamie's drones with a
Sprinkling
cricket
crickets.
bucket just flying over, air bombing
We're
crickets.
crop dusting them.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got to let them go like right at when they gobbling on the roost. That's when you want to let the crickets go.
I'm still
way they're
just
coming
blown
to.
away. Like, to me, that is the most genius idea
is.
ever.
Who would have ever thought of it? I need 7,000
thought
head of
about-
cricket,
Yeah. Walking in bait shop, I want to buy all your crickets.
all of them.
I can't afford all them crickets. That's
How much do you think that would cost? Like a tube of crickets ain't? I mean, it's several dollars
it's
Yeah,
like $10 or $11
for a
two.
bucket. Yeah, for a
Yeah,
tube.
large too.
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
it's
you
like
think-
5 or 6 for a little tube.
You get way more crickets for $100 than you do $100 worth of corn.
You
So-
think so?
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying kernel per
Yeah.
cricket, but I'm saying
Oh yeah,
you turn out $100 worth of crickets, it's fitting to cover 10 acres,
yeah,
and they're not going to go real far.
yeah. They can't go too far, but everything else is going to eat them too, though.
Yeah.
See, that's what, like, you look up this, it says illegal to hunt or trap any wild animal or wild bird with the aid of bait. So, where does it say that a cricket is bait? This just says,
J&J's live bait crickets.
I'm thinking live bait like a minnow. I'm not thinking.
Well, maybe instead of trapping coons, we need to do something to improve our cricket numbers.
Cricket population. Yeah. What can we do to improve the insect population?
Throw out meal.
Get
Yeah.
rid of. We got to start trapping wolf spiders.
Yeah, we got to get rid of the spiders because they eat the crickets.
So, this guy's in the clear on cricket. So, it says electronically operated calling or sound producing devices may be used.
Oh, so the cricket calls a go.
Yeah, sound like me a cricket call would work.
Cricket calls a go. Yeah, can you do that with Mikey? I'm gonna need you to
I'll
brush
figure
up
it
on
out
your
if it calls in turkey.
cricket. Yeah, I need you to brush up on the
Hey.
cricket calling skills.
Coming up with we're coming next year. We're going to come out with a Buck Junkies cricket mouth call.
Yeah.
There you, surely they got a push pull. That's
The
a
Jiminy cricket.
Yeah,
It's got-
the Jiminy
You
cricket.
can have two legs
That's it.
inside
Yeah,
the box.
yeah, just rub it together. That's all we need. Hit that one. Hit that
Something
old
else right
locust,
there.
that old katydid call.
We're all getting tickets.
Yeah. We're going to go buy crickets for this weekend for the brim fishing
Oh, yeah.
tournament. We're going to get arrested.
Yeah.
We walk out the door.
What are y'all getting all these crickets for?
Yeah, we better
The Brimathon?
we better turkey hunt Friday and then get crickets early Saturday
Yeah.
so it don't look obvious.
Well, we got to be smarter now. You just got to get all your household to go buy a bucket of crickets where it ain't all on one.
Yeah,
thing.
all in one
They
thing.
don't, they don't throw no red flags.
We're going to look like some old meth heads trying to get crickets come Friday.
Get all kinds of containers, put them in.
We're going to go buy a
25 people
couple
lined
tubes
up with
here.
cricket buckets.
I mean, I've been watching that smuggling thing on TV. I can smuggle them in the car pretty good. I know where to hide them.
You
at.
know where to hide them.
Yeah, put them on the dash.
So, for all seriousness, no rules on bait for Saturday, right? For the fish.
No rules on bait,
Artificial, it can be live, whatever you want to do.
but only one pole, cane pole. We're doing most fish, biggest fish.
How many hooks per pole?
Oh, there ain't no limit on the hooks per pole.
Oh, so we can be like the people down there on the
We're going to be
Yeah.
snagging.
dock at the ocean. Got like 500.
Yeah.
tickets.
Oh, yeah. You know that? What's that? Tzatziki rig or whatever that's.
Yeah.
What do they call that thing you fish with? You
know,
catch the
hooks,
bait.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can fish with one of them if you want to.
So, are we allowed to net them
Yeah, if
to
you
get
need
them on
to.
the bank?
Yeah,
They
if
got to
you
be
need
on the
to.
hook.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, you can't cast net.
I didn't say
It's got to be on the hook.
we can have a dip net, right?
Yeah, but it's got to be on the hook to dip
Mark's
net
going
it.
to dump crickets out in the water and dip them up.
No, you can't do that. It's got to be on the hook and net. You can use a net.
A net can only be to use the. To
It's gonna be-
You can put your waders on around and wade fish if you want to. You can't mess up. You can't mess up everybody's fishing ground though. You got to take it easy.
That ain't
Can't stir up too much mud.
I'm bringing the kayak.
I guess there's a rule. You have to be on the bank. We ain't made that rule.
You got to be on the bank.
You think you got
No
to be
wade, no kayak.
okay? No wade, no kayak. Got to be on the bank.
Can you at least?
That's a
put
good
your
idea,
feet-
Jamie. I like the way you're
I can
thinking.
get further than 12 foot from the bank with a
Yeah.
kayak.
No, I like that. Well, so are we going to do anything if you catch a bass on a cane pole? or is it brim only?
No,
it's
Any fish? Any fish.
Fishing.
All right. It should be only brim and bass in this little pond we got.
No, it's some catfish down there.
You think so? I've
Yeah,
never
because I got them down there in a live well right now.
Yeah.
We're gonna hook them.
Oh, you finna go put them?
We're gonna put them up in a little box. I'm gonna hook them Saturday morning with the.
Do you really have some catfish out there? Oh,
I'll call David Mattis. Bring me one of them 50-pounders.
he played the pond out. You put one of the big blues in there. But that's going to be our plan. Then we're going to fry fish.
Probably gonna have to buy fish to fry.
I'm gonna bring some catfish just in case.
We ain't gonna catch enough.
It ain't gonna be just a brim cook, but we're gonna cook some of them if we catch some.
Need to look.
The goal is we need to take some fish out of this pond. That's why we're doing this. It's not just for something fun to do. I mean, it is fun, but we've got a little farm pond and it's overpopulated. Our bass are stunted. The brim, there's some decent sized bluegill in it. It's been stocked sometime back in the day with bass and largemouth bass and bluegill.
So I did order for real though, little live well pump for a cooler, so we can throw some in there and keep them kicking if we decide to throw some back later.
And throw them in another pond or something.
So I did get one of them little battery pack air pumps.
All right, a little aerator. But that's our plan for Saturday. And then are you going turkey hunting Sunday with Trent?
So if weather does right, I should leave Sunday afternoon, go with Trent. We're going to hunt Monday, see how that goes. May hunt Tuesday. We'll kind of play it by ear. But
where are y'all going, over to the east side of Mississippi? Northeast?
Yeah, probably where all the crickets are. Knowing him.
He knows how to get in there on that. He's got a hot deal on a paid turkey hunt.
What he says, if I get out of the truck, when I get to his house and hear, I'm probably coming back home.
He's got a whole box in the back. Well, all right. Well, is there anything about what's our contest doing, Mikey?
We got till the 19th.
The 19th when we're going to end this one.
19th we're going to end it. We got some entries, but y'all don't miss out on that because anybody could win it.
Anybody can win it. So all you got to do is go to the Buck Junkies Outdoor Club.
Go to Buck Junkies
on Facebook. Post a picture of a recipe, your recipe, a picture of the finished dish. Tell us a little about it. You ain't got to be a full detailed recipe.
No, you ain't got to give me the full recipe.
And then whichever one gets the most likes or comments is going to be a winner. We might. I don't know how many we're going to pick, but what do you have to give away for this one?
We got $100 gift card to Mossy Oak Gamekeeper Butcher.
Okay, so you can get you some wild game meat.
Yeah,
I recommend what's the bacon?
That wild boar bacon.
Yeah.
That's hard. Yeah, you get $100 worth of that. You got something.
We got to the contest after that. I guess after we cooked there.
Yeah.
I bet it was 2 inches of grease in the bottom of that pit.
From all that bacon? Oh, man. I didn't think
it smelled good, though.
Yeah.
That was seasoned up real good.
Yeah. But that's going to be a good one. And then we'll fire another contest up over that. I got a few things, and we got some more hats and stuff that we're going to give away. But, yeah, y'all just participate in that. Tell everybody about the Buck Junkies Outdoor Club.
Yep, post your pictures. We'll see your fish, your turkeys, whatever you got.
Or getting ready for it's time to order. If you ain't got your seeds thought about for summer, you need to go ahead and get them ordered.
Yep, it's getting close.
Because they're going to run out of vetch, I bet.
Yeah,
we're here.
Vetch is hard.
That's a hard one to find.
It ain't good. Don't even
plant vetch.
Stick to just some weed or something. Yeah. Don't fool with vetch.
Peas.
Yeah.
Deer love peas. Y'all plant peas.
And then everybody coming up, North Mississippi Hope Outdoors has their banquet.
That's when is that?
4th of May at the Red Barn out there at like 304.
So you can get tickets.
Yeah.
Is there a website, Jamie, or where can you get tickets?
Go to Team Scooter on Hope Outdoors, and it'll pull up, and you can get the information. You can reach out to Angie, or you can reach out to me through Buck Junkies. I can get you in touch with her. Nothing else. And then
they're gonna have a dinner that night at the banquet. Yeah. And I forget who. Somebody told me who was catering it. I think it's
man, I can't remember. They told me to. I can't think now.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but somebody's is the group from Oxford?
Maybe.
I think so. But anyway, it's gonna be a fun time. There's those banquets are always fun. There'll be live auction, there'll be silent auction, there'll be ticket giveaways, and it's all going to raise money for the Hope Outdoors. This is their first ever outdoors banquet.
Yeah, the big banquet, and all this must 100% nonprofit. All this goes towards buying gear, shooting devices, chairs, anything that the hunter needs to
be able to get outside and enjoy the same things we get to enjoy.
Yeah, don't take it for granted. I mean, it's definitely worth it.
Good. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Mark, you want to take us on out?
Man, yeah. We appreciate y'all listening. Y'all check us out, buckjunkie.com. Of course, all the platforms. And if y'all got any questions, anything y'all want us to talk about, just let us know. Shoot us a message. And we appreciate the support and look forward to see what this year's got.
We gone.